Disappointed.
A Boulder church vandalized with abortion rights messages.
Mostly I felt sorry for the people who did this.
Turns out this isn't the first time this has happened.
We actually pray for them and we hope for their healing.
Plus, Denver Public Schools cutting dozens of office jobs. And Congressman Jason Crow shares his stories from Ukraine.
Most people did not believe this invasion was going to happen, including the Ukrainians.
This rain and snow has been great, but we have sunshine and warmer temperatures on the way.
And more homes are on the market in Colorado, but the prices aren't going down.
The amount of closings and the average sales price is going up dramatically.
And first tonight, our eyes are on the clouds.
You might have seen some rain in your neighborhood earlier today. Well, the rain is coming back tonight. Good evening. Glad you're with us at 5. I'm Shannon Ogden.
I'm Ann Trujillo, also joining us, of course, to tell us more about these storms. Mike Nelson.
This is so nice, really. I mean, another
really
2 or 3 days,
yes.
people start saying it's not nice anymore, but no wind, no fire danger for the most part, just rain and cool temperatures. Let me show you how cool it is outside right now. 48 currently on this early May afternoon in Denver, where we should be closer to 70 degrees, and a lot of rain out there, especially to the south of us right now. Really good soaker where they need it so desperately, from the Springs down to Pueblo and across the southeast plains. Some of that is still going to swirl in here tonight because the low pressure center of the storm still has to cross the state. So we're going to get some more showers, even though at the moment they're relatively light in the Denver area. We still have a winter weather advisory to the north through tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. for about another 3 to 5 inches of snow up around Rocky Mountain National Park. We are going to get through most of the evening drive in pretty good shape. I think the showers will fill back in, and then they'll be done by tomorrow. So it's wonderful moisture. The skies do clear tomorrow. A big warm up on the way. We have 80s in the Friday and Saturday forecast. I'll have your full 7-day coming up in about 20 minutes.
All right, we'll take it. Thank you, Mike. News that the U.S. Supreme Court could overturn Roe v. Wade has fired up plenty of people across the country.
Sacred Heart of Mary Church became a target. Somebody spray painted abortion rights messages on its doors and its walls. Denver 7's Ivan Rodriguez is live outside that church. And
Ivan, the Boulder church is somewhat used to being a target.
We were also out here several months ago for a very similar incident. You can see some of that damage here on these doors. I spoke with a parishioner who tells me as disappointed he isn't necessarily surprised. Statue by statue and wall by wall, crews worked to remove the graffiti, paint, and broken glass left behind after a night of vandalism.
We're disappointed that we can't have a peaceful conversation about such a hot topic, and instead people resort to violence. But we kind of understand, at least I do.
Charlie Danner has been a parishioner of Sacred Heart of Mary in Boulder for years. He says this isn't the first time this has happened either.
We think this is related to an annual pro-life memorial we have on our front lawn every October for Respect Life Month. We put out 3,000 crosses signifying how many abortions there are in the United States every single day. The first time this type of an attack occurred at our parish happened the first few days of October last year. So this is a repeat.
In a statement, the Boulder County Sheriff's Office says in part, the graffiti is similar in nature to what we saw at the church in September 2021, anti-church, pro-choice messaging. We can't yet conclusively say that it is related to September's incident, but the crimes are very similar in nature. Danaher believes whoever did this was motivated by the leak of a draft Supreme Court decision that would overturn Roe v. Wade.
Broken windows, defaced statues of the saints that are on the property. Yeah, many broken windows and spray painted vehicles.
Still, he says the church isn't living in fear of being attacked again.
We don't really dwell on that, although we know, of course, that's the price that we may pay for being in this conversation and in this cultural battle. But we don't really dwell on that.
The Boulder County Sheriff's Office says it still hasn't made an arrest connected to the vandalism incident that took place last September. As far as this case goes, you're looking at all the evidence, including surveillance cameras that were on the property. Live in Boulder, Ivan Rodriguez, Denver 7.
All right, Ivan, thank you. And today, Colorado Congresswoman Diana DeGette joined the president of Planned Parenthood of the Rocky Mountains, pushing for the Senate to pass legislation protecting people's right to abortion care.
They also gave a deeper look at the impact overturning Roe could have here in Colorado. Denver 7's Jason Grenauer joins us live in the newsroom. You listen in on that press conference, Jason. It's clear that more women seeking abortions will likely come here to Colorado.
Yeah, Shannon, we've been reporting how abortion will still be legal in Colorado, even if Roe is overturned because of the recently passed state law here. But abortion would be banned or restricted in all of our neighboring states except for New Mexico. And that would mean a likely increase in out-of-state patients that come to Colorado for that legal form of health care. Now, Planned Parenthood of the Rocky Mountains says they saw a dramatic increase in patients by the thousands after Texas's controversial abortion law passed. They are already seeing the impact of the Supreme Court leak as well.
And yes, indeed, we're seeing more and more patients across the country just yesterday make more appointments.
Now, Planned Parenthood says they are hiring locally. They need more administrative and operations staff and would likely have to hire more licensed providers if the demand for care increases. Congresswoman Diana DeGette says that demand is coming.
If abortion becomes illegal or practically illegal in half of the states, Planned Parenthood and other abortion providers will be overwhelmed with people from out of state who are trying to come. So the current staffing issues will be really exacerbated a lot.
Now, both pro-choice and anti-abortion groups are working on ballot amendments to change the state constitution to protect or ban abortion here in Colorado. We have that in-depth breakdown up right now on thedenverchannel.com. Live in the newsroom, I'm Jason Grenauer, Denver 7.
All right, Jason, thank you very much. One man was killed overnight. His car crashed into the South Platte River. The police think he failed to stop at a stop sign near Overland Park. This was just after midnight. Police didn't find out about it until about 9 hours later. Now, police are still investigating whether alcohol or speed perhaps contributed.
An Arapahoe County jury has found 26-year-old Jorge Alexander Chiquiab guilty of manslaughter after he gave a 16-year-old girl fentanyl. The teen died of an overdose during a party at Jorge's house. He admitted to police that she appeared to be overdosing, but instead decided to go to sleep rather than get her medical help. He could now be sentenced to anywhere from 8 to 116 years in prison. Denver Public Schools are cutting dozens of positions from their central office.
These include 15 executive-level jobs and more than 60 other positions. In a letter to parents, Superintendent Alex Marrero says these job cuts are in a direct response to declining enrollment and dwindling funds. The superintendent added that the staff reduction is saving DPS about $9 million, which will now go to the general fund.
Colorado Congressman Jason Crow is back in the U.S. after joining Democratic leaders on a trip to Ukraine and Poland. Crow spoke with members of the media today, saying the U.S. needs to do everything it can to help Ukraine defeat Russian troops. And that is something he emphasized to Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky.
The United States is going to stand shoulder to shoulder with you. We are not going to stop supporting you, that we are in this for the long haul to make sure that you can be victorious on the field of battle.
Crow also affirmed that the U.S. will play a role in helping the humanitarian crisis and will support countries like Poland that are helping Ukrainian refugees.
Today, the Federal Reserve raised interest rates by ½ point. That is the biggest hike in 22 years, hopefully to slow down inflation in the U.S. The result will mean borrowing costs are likely to get higher, mortgage rates, credit card interest, auto loans, student loans. And President Biden tried to get ahead of the news today by promoting a $1.5 trillion reduction in the federal deficit.
Higher interest rates are causing more homes to sit on the market here in Colorado. Going deeper tonight, the Metro had more than 3,200 listings in April, which is up more than 40% from March. The Denver Metro Association of Realtors says the average single-family home is selling for close to $825,000. That is up 3.5% from March.
I think we are seeing fewer buyers because with higher interest rates, those higher monthly payments, people really have to calculate the value of renting versus buying. It's really showing that the market is starting to normalize a little bit and head towards a pace that honestly is probably more healthy for both buyers and sellers.
And realtors say since there are more homes on the market now, prices may drop this month because buyers now have more options.
They represent our ancestry, our heritage, our history.
One of the nation's most endangered historic places is right here in Colorado. Community activists are now working to change that.
We can't just keep erasing everything in the past.
Rising rent forcing a local food bank to find a new home.
It's so upsetting because, what we're doing is not an expensive venture.
And Broncos fans get ready for an early wake-up call.
The team is going across the pond this season.
It's electric. It's really, really special. It feels like international Super Bowl in a way, so I'm excited about it.